The library is inhabited by spirits that come out of the pages at night. Write what should not be forgotten. The longer I live, the more uninformed I feel. Only the young have an explanation for everything. Accept the children the way we accept trees, with gratitude, because they are a blessing, but do not have expectations or desires. You don't expect trees to change, you love them as they are. For women, the best aphrodisiacs are words. The G-spot is in the ears. He who looks for it below there is wasting his time. There is no death, daughter. People die only when we forget them, my mother explained shortly before she left me. If you can remember me, I will be with you always. We only have what we give. Fear is inevitable, I have to accept that, but I cannot allow it to paralyze me. A man does what he can. A woman does what a man cannot. You can't find someone who doesn't want to be found. You can tell the deepest truths with the lies of fiction. Words are not that important when you recognize intentions. Perhaps we are in this world to search for love, find it and lose it, again and again. With each love, we are born anew. And with each love that ends we collect a new wound. I am covered with proud scars. You are the storyteller of your own life, and you can create your own legend, or not. Writing is a process, a journey into memory and the soul. This is to assuage our conscience, darling, she would explain to Blanca. But it doesn't help the poor. They don't need charity. They need justice. He had only to touch me to turn my tears into sighs and my anger to desire. How accommodating love is, it forgives everything. Erotica is using a feather, pornography is using the whole chicken. The source of my difficulties has always been the same, an inability to accept what to others seems natural. And an irresistible tendency to voice opinions no one wants to hear. Writing is like making love. Don't worry about the orgasm, just concentrate on the process. If I write something, I fear it will happen, and if I love too much, I fear I will lose that person. Nevertheless, I cannot stop writing or loving. When love exists, nothing else matters, not life's predicaments, not the fury of the years, not a physical winding down or scarcity of opportunity. We all have an unsuspected reserve of strength inside that emerges when life puts us to the test. Just as when we come into the world, when we die we are afraid of the unknown. But the fear is something from within us that has nothing to do with reality. Dying is like being born, just a change. And I am not one of those women who trips twice over the same stone. Memory is fiction. We select the brightest and the darkest, ignoring what we are ashamed of, and so embroider the broad tapestry of our lives. Silence before being born. Silence after death. Life is nothing but noise between two unfathomable silences. Writing is a constant exercising longing. When everything else fails, we communicate in the language of the stars. He realized that the loudest are the least sincere, that arrogance is the quality of the ignorant, and that flatterers tend to be vicious. Barabbas came to us by sea, the child Clara wrote in her delicate calligraphy. I need to remember to overcome. A fixation is very stubborn, it burrows into the brain and breaks the heart. There are many fixations, but love is the worst. Nice people with common sense do not make interesting characters. They only make good former spouses. Be careful what you ask of heaven, it might be granted. Happiness is pure kitsch. We come into the world to suffer and learn. The slave who dances is free, while he is dancing. My worst flaw is that I tell secrets, my own and everybody else's. The names of persons and living creatures demand respect, because when we speak to them we touch their heart and become a part of their life force. His calls for justice were lost at the mercy of the wind and human indifference. You are my angel and my damnation. In your presence I reach divine ecstasy, and in your absence I descend to hell. Our demons lose their power when we pull them out of the depths where they hide and look them in the face in broad daylight. It's easy to judge others when we are not going through the same thing. She intended to swallow the world and he lived crushed by reality. Courage is a virtue appreciated in a male but considered a defect in our gender. Bold women are a threat to a world that is badly out of balance, in favor of men. Remember that all the others are more afraid than you. Before you conquer the mountain, you must learn to overcome your fear. After a few months without writing, months I've lived turned outward. I fear going deaf, not being able to hear the silence. How many times have I told you not to believe everything you hear? Seek truth for yourself. They could not understand the advantage of living contrary to their inclinations in this world in order to enjoy a hypothetical well-being in another. There is room in the human heart for all the divinities. Music is a wind that blows away the years, memories, and fear, that crouching animal I carry inside me. Literary characters, like my grandmother's apparitions, are fragile beings, easily frightened. They must be treated with care so they will feel comfortable in my pages. Happiness is slippery. It slithers away between your fingers, but problems are something you can hold on to. They've got handles, they're rough and hard.